In a world where crime runs rampant, the best first-class bodyguards are tasked with protecting the most prestigious high-class ladies. Except Kaito, the absolute worst bodyguard and someone who lacks any form of seriousness towards his job. Until he runs into one particular lady who forces him to serve her, refusing to hear his opinion on the matter. Kaito may not have been interested before, but the arrogant words of this prideful bitch sparks a passion within him to do whatever it takes to protect her. Hi, my name is August, and this is Akatsuki no Goei. Akatsuki no Goei is a strange visual novel, for while it sounds like a crime-fighting, action-heavy visual novel with a touch of romance, it acts more like a wacky slice-of-life comedy instead. After withdrawing from his bodyguard training school, Kaito ends up saving a high-class lady from a kidnapping, but just as he's about to leave, the girl declares that he will be her new bodyguard, chaining him to the seat, throwing 100 million yen at him, and electrocuting all of the doorknobs in the house until he agrees. Terribly absurd, but hey, maybe he'll find it fun, as he spends his time getting strong-armed by his dominating client/lady/owner. Raika's a very independent, commanding woman and hates people getting in her way. She absolutely despises the idea of someone protecting her, the only exceptions being her pet cheetahs. And yet, after seeing Kaito and his total lack of seriousness, hiding his true abilities underneath, she develops a strange liking for the man. Fits the classic red-haired tsundere to a T. Everything from the aggressively hostile attitude, the short stature, and the less than modest chest, and her strangely affectionate moments, she's pretty much on point for a disagreeable, prideful, high-class lady. Or in other words, kind of a bitch until she gets bodied by the emotion called love. I would recommend reading Raika's route first because a large majority of Kaito's backstory is explained here. And then we run into one of many of Akatsuki no Goei's negatives: unsatisfying conclusions. For those not aware, Akatsuki no Goei was written by Kinugasa Shogo, the author behind the popular light novel series Classroom the Elite and his urban fantasy detective visual novel series Meteor World Actor. He's rather infamous for his unresolved plot lines, this series I suspect being the main offender. Kinugasa's got a habit of creating seemingly important plot details and characters and then never exploring it. Like, why is this character trying to hunt down Kaito? Or why should we fear this Taiga lookalike? Or why the fuck is Tai's mom hotter than all of the main characters combined? It's super irritating in this case because Raika's route has this compelling soap opera extended family drama plotline that I never expected. I was very much on board for exploring more of it, but then her route just ends. Her route feels like it cuts directly in the middle of the good stuff, romantic relationship enjoyment included. It's a big letdown. But hey, at least it isn't Aya's route. Aya is completely different from her older sister. While being prim and proper, she's got low self-esteem, is shy around others, and has a complex towards her overachieving sister. But in front of Kaito, she's able to open up and indulge in her more selfish, unladylike hobbies, being the monster-drinking gamer girl that she is. And I would like to say more, however, it honestly feels like her route is Kaito making fun of her stuck-up bodyguard instead. The bastard totally deserves it though. Takanori alternates between a competitive, arrogant asshat to a gullible punching bag. Kaito and Takanori's banter follows the same progression and punchline with varying degrees of absurdity. Akatsuki no Goei in general just kind of meanders around, throwing a bunch of comedic scenarios. Some of them are hilarious and others are just meh. It really all just depends on your taste in comedy, but the bottom line is, when the story isn't progressing the overall plot or the main couple, it's not productive and Aya suffers the most from it. There's a lot of potential here with the romance drama between the division of social classes, the rich versus the poor, the high class lady and her bodyguard, the children of bitter enemies getting together. Believe me, I would fully eat up a catfight between high society ladies fighting over a bodyguard, or bodyguards straight up trying to kill each other for a woman. But Akatsuki no Goei never executes that on its fullest dramatic potential due to lack of proper build-up. It's a damn shame. Strangely, it's the most idiotic, brain-dead, dumbass character that ends up being my favorite out of the bunch. There's absolutely nothing remarkable about Tae. She's terribly dumb, physically weak, irrationally impulsive, throws temper tantrums, and is a spoiled brat. But hey, at least her mom's hot. Everyone gives Tae shit for her childish behavior and rich bratty attitude, but her energetic yet foolish personality somehow shines through endearingly. It's pretty cute how prideful she acts even though most of that is full of hot air. There's nothing stopping her. A definite fit for a moral sexual. Lovingly attracted to dumbasses and dumbasses exclusively.
スイッチをオンにすると動物が喋った時に言葉に直してくれるのよ。ワオーって やめてよ
Her route actually feels like a traditional rom-com featuring a happy-go-lucky airhead and her equally idiotic bodyguard, who surprisingly turns out to be a really good supporting character in the route. Turns out robot androids are extremely good wingmen. Now, it's a common occurrence in Akatsuki no Goei to see the very well-off rich characters to be highly uneducated about and willfully ignorant of the poor. There's many comedic scenarios where the characters are trying to wrap their minds around commoner concepts, like opening a ramen bottle or instant coffee. But what happens when that's taken more seriously, when these rich ladies take their curiosity too far? What do you think happens in a lawless land where a young, sheltered girl is left all alone? For Moe, absolutely nothing. The girl has been trained in martial arts ever since she was a kid, and yet that can't cure stupidity. Now, while Tae may act like a childish, spoiled brat, Moe matches her too, except in just being plain oblivious to everything. Being soft-spoken and strange, Moe moves to her own whims, but lacks the common sense to back it up. So it's up to Kaito to prevent her from doing extremely dumb shit and teach her the right way. Why is it that the outlandishly weird characters turn out to be the best in the strangest ways? Meanwhile, no one comes as close to shitting on Kaito's entire existence than the head maiden in the Kaito family, Suki.
ああ、いなくならないかな、朝霧カイト。別にすっきりしない。ただ、心の底でニヤッとしたくなる。
With a shit-eating grin one would see in nightmares, restraint isn't an option when it comes to verbally assaulting the guy. And yet the two's chemistry is one of the best in the visual novel, often being ridiculously comedic, which is surprising because she barely shows any emotion at all normally, considering the shit she's gone through, and what we are subject to unfortunately too. Suki's route contains all of my opinions about how I feel about this visual novel and its darker content. Needlessly edgy to prove how dark it can get. There's a level of class and subtleness when it comes to this type of content, but the detail behind these traumatizing moments had me rolling my eyes. It's rather tasteless, messy, and not believable, especially in regards to that quote-unquote shocking plot twist H scene. Akatsuki no Goei had a lot of potential, from the hidden sarcastic powerhouse, the harsh yet playful banter, and the subtle commentary on the divide between the rich and the poor. There's action, mystery, suspense, and even a touch of romance to bring to the table, but Akatsuki no Goei can't escape its god-awful crippling faults, for what is especially the first game in a trilogy series. You should go in Akatsuki no Goei as more of a slice-of-life comedy rather than an action drama rom-com, because those expecting so will be deeply disappointed by its unresolved and unsatisfying plot elements. The romance also takes a severe hit, with most of them suffering from a contrived lack of build-up, covering and resolving itself within the last hour of its routes. And yet, despite what I said, there's still a certain charm that this visual novel has from its comedy and characters that just kinda grows on you. Akatsuki no Goei gets a 2 out of 5 from me. If you want to check out a much better and later version of Kinogasa's writing, I highly recommend checking out Meteor World Actor, a visual novel title with a similar main character, a hidden powerhouse with the same sarcastic wit, being a detective in an urban fantasy city where the sun doesn't shine. Yeah, this video is actually just a recommendation for Meteor World Actor, so go check that out please. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later next time.